Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Rassle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Callbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Cory Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another show, another episode of Rassle Rock. Crazy week that we had going on here this week. Not a whole lot going on news-wise, but we had a whole lot going on storyline-wise. Raw, Smackdown, NXT, AEW, whole bunch of stuff going on. How you like guys doing?
Paper champion of weeks.
This week's been a real champion, I'll tell you
that. Sometimes no news is good news. It just means we actually had wrestling without drama for a change, you know?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
That's a very good thing. A little bit of drama here and there. The AOP got released from WWE, which nobody really
didn't know
noticed.
They weren't. I didn't know they weren't. Like they stopped coming out with like Seth Rollins. Like when quarantine first started? Is that when they went away?
Yeah, there was an injury happening. One of them was injured. I forget which one. It was some kind of knee injury or something along those lines. And we figured once the injury was healed and everything was all good, coming back together, then they would rejoin the whole whatever Seth Rollins is calling that little group there. But apparently not. As soon as they got better, WWE said, "Well, that's great, but we don't need you anymore," and they let him go. That was it. That was the end of it.
At least they paid him till he got better. So that's one positive out of it. I just think they were a tag team that never clicked. I really think they never clicked. I mean, they had Paul Ellering in NXT, and they showed some signs of like they could have been something, but they were also wrestling against Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and the Revival. So were they actually good? I don't know, because they were wrestling two amazing tag teams. So, and then they went over and they were basically heaters, and they barely even did that job because they were hurt almost immediately when they were heaters. So I don't know. So they just never clicked. Maybe it's a good thing they leave. Maybe they go somewhere else. Work on their skills and come back later on.
Lame.
Yeah.
I think they were lame, or the releases lame?
It was lame that they were always getting hurt. Like it wasn't that they sucked. It was just they didn't have the time or the experience under their belt to be any good. And when they had the opportunity to, they would always drop the ball by getting hurt. And I'm not saying they're dropping the ball because they're getting hurt. It's just an injury-prone thing. And it's like, time is the best. Experience is the best teacher. So with the inability to get experience, you're just gonna stay stagnant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little. It kind of sucked. I like the AOP. I thought they were really good. Like you were talking about them being heaters. I thought that went really well until they got injured. We'll never see it. See where that was going, or if that was going to form the big stable that we all thought that it was going to form with Rollins and Murphy. Now it's just pretty much just Murphy following Rollins around like a little puppy dog.
What do you think?
I don't think that's the thing anymore. I think there's rumors that basically they're just writing Murphy off as not even with Seth Rollins anymore. Like that's what I've been hearing. Yeah, so it's like makes no sense. And then Austin Aries is on NXT when they brought him up to try to fill in that void, and he's back on
Theory.
Austin Theory.
I'm glad you catch that because I missed it twice. He did that before, and I missed it then too. I missed it again. I'm like, yeah, Austin Aries on NXT. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's not ever going to probably be in WWE
again. Probably not. But yeah, man, it's sad. I thought that the Seth Rollins story had legs, man. I thought they could have went somewhere with that, and it's a shame.
I think
another storyline.
The AOP will now go to AEW and be called FBA.
FDA?
FTA, yeah.
FTA. What might that stand for, Corey?
The authors. Forget the authors.
Forget the authors.
Yeah.
Also known as who wrote this?
Yeah. And, who's this by? I don't know.
Oh man. Well, one guy did leave WWE and go to AEW, and that was Rusev. He showed up on AEW this week under the name Miro, which I think is his real last name, if I'm not mistaken, or his real first name. Miro, Miro.
It's his first name. It's short for like his name's longer than that. It's just a shortened version of his real name.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of a WWE thing to do. Take just one name. We're going to pick this one name that makes sense and then drop the rest of it.
They're going to do
I don't know.
I'm happy he's there, but I thought it was kind of flat. Like, yeah, it was showing up with, God, what's his name? I always forget him because I just pay attention to Penelope Ford.
Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian. And he comes out as Kip Sabian's best man, but he's just the best man. And I thought it was kind of flat, man. I think they should have just have him come out and like destroy somebody and just start it from there. And then maybe have him talk a week or two from now. Like not just have him come out and shoot that typical brass ring promo a lot of wrestlers do when they leave WWE. I thought it was kind of weak.
Yeah. Go to WWE and do like the old Jeff Jarrett promo when he like shot in the ring. He's like, a lot of people out here can't even speak the damn language. Like, so stupid.
I think I'm waiting to see whether or not it's going to be AEW doesn't really have a great history with putting former WWE guys in the spotlight unless they're already in the heavyweight title picture. Because not too many. Brody Lee is finally turning around now. As far as being in the spotlight and being something that people want to watch. When they first brought him in, he was pretty much just like a Vince McMahon ripoff, kind of spoof parody type of thing. We'll see what they do with Rusev. I keep on calling him Rusev with Miro.
And Zack Ryder is still just Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder is nothing different. It's just he's the LI guy, and now he looks bigger because he's with smaller guys, but he's the same exact dude.
Yeah.
Well, it looks almost like they had like storylines in place for a while, but then as these WWE people become free, they're just picking them up, and then it's like, oh well, where do we fit them after we already have like Kenny Omega and Hangman storylines pretty much written out for the next year and a half, and these guys are written out for this like 6 months, and all. They have no way to fit these guys. Like so, like I think Zack Ryder's going to probably sit there for at least 4 to 5 months before he fits into a storyline where he actually makes any kind of real impact. Like they can't even use these guys they're picking up right now because they've already seeded everything out. I mean,
they have Hager with Jericho, the former Jack Swagger, and like he was just doing, what is it?
Jack Swagger.
Swagger, yes. He was on this past Wednesday teaming with Jericho, but again, he's just kind of like that guy. He's just kind of the heater. He's just kind of the bodyguard that doesn't really do anything. So he could be
an accessory. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be something big, but he's just not in that role. And I think that there's their roster keeps growing and growing, and pretty soon they're going to have WWE's problem where they have all this talent and this really, really impressive talent that they don't know what to do with. Just my opinion. But what they are doing is good. I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying that they keep on sweeping up all these guys, and they're going to get swept right under the rug. Is what I think.
It's that, and like I said, I think they need to like I watched Jericho a couple weeks ago. Or last week get interviewed. He was talking about how NXT went to Tuesday night, and he's sitting there like, yeah, good. Like, you go to Tuesday night, have your own thing. Don't care about us because we don't care about you. But then every time a WWE wrestler shows up on AEW, the first thing they do is attack WWE. It's like, you don't care about them? Like,
right. I think they're trying to say that the corporation of AEW, and the management of AEW doesn't care about NXT and WWE as much. But like the people who come into to AEW from WWE have their personal grudges and their axe to grind, kind of like X-Pac coming on Raw and cutting a promo on Eric Bischoff. It's like more about his personal problem than it is about NXT versus AEW. It's like not really a war. It's just a product of the war, you know?
True. I don't know. I just think they need, and it'll be the next big step for them is I think they need to just be their own entity and pretend that WWE doesn't even exist at the moment and just work on a product.
Can we talk about something that I forgot to talk about for like the last 2-3 weeks now? And it was cool as hell to see, and I can't believe I haven't seen it again. Where the hell is Joseph Park? Why did Joseph Park come out to the ring with AJ Styles for that promo?
With the piss board?
Yeah. Why did that not go anywhere? What the hell?
Just typical WWE. Something like, people enjoy, but they don't enjoy. It just disappears. Like it just fades away. I kind of have a feeling that it has to do with the fact that like they didn't want to have Joseph Park and Paul Heyman both doing the same thing at the same time. Like maybe there's a contradiction there. They didn't want to have like two lawyer characters on the show, but it was like he sat there the whole time and like AJ said his name once and then like didn't acknowledge that he was who he was. And it was just like, all right. And then he's going to lose the Intercontinental Championship. And then it's, and then Sammy's going to come back and we're going to be focused too much on all those parts that Abbyss doesn't get a part of this now. Like, forget him. Nah.
It could very well be just that. Maybe it's just there was too many things going on because you got the Sammy and Jeff storyline, and then you got the AJ and Jeff storyline, and the whole thing revolves around the Intercontinental title. Maybe there's just no room for too many things going on. So maybe if Styles gets the title back, we'll see him again.
Well, I mean, I just read this, and I don't know how true it is because it was just on the internet. I don't know. I don't remember what the source was, but it was something about him wanting to retire soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, soon. Like, I think there was, like, stuff going in there with him, like, being a better dad now that quarantine has started and he's been able to spend more time with his kids and all that stuff.
Huh.
Did we just...
I don't know.
I'm watching Raw right now.
Yeah.
We just saw two partners in two different matches right away, right after the other, where a partner turned on another partner.
I kind of want to bring that up.
What's that?
Yeah,
I kind of want to bring it up. Like Raw doesn't know how to separate their storylines.
Right.
Like literally, if they're either doing a roll up and then in the next match they're doing a roll up again as the finishes, or we have. What's her name? Stable breakup.
Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega's stable breaks up, and then 2 minutes later, the Hurt Business. Why am I? I'm.
That was the other way around. It was the other way around.
I worked 14 hours last. Yeah, that's right. We see Cedric Alexander turn on Ricochet and
Apollo
Crews. It's like how do you put two group breakups back to back?
Right. You couldn't put like one segment between that made you forget that had happened, like one other match or something. Couldn't separate that any more than just like a commercial break.
I think you needed more than that. I think you needed like a full show. Like do that next show where nobody, like not too many people care about Zelina Vega's tag team. So you could have broken those guys up this week and then done the Cedric Alexander thing the following week. I know because the Cedric Alexander thing, like that, completely overshadowed everything else that it was happening because that was awesome.
You had the camera off me, so you weren't watching me. But when it was happening, I was going. Could you see it on your screen, Rick? I was like,
no.
What?
What the Cedric Alexander thing?
Yeah, because I was looking at you guys, and I looked up for a second, and I saw Cedric throwing Ricochet into the barricade and then into the ring, and I was like, what happened? Right.
Yeah, I beat the hell.
I think the interview, his mic skills aren't the greatest, but I thought the excuse was really well done too. He's sick of being a loser, and he's sick of getting beat up by the bigger guys over and over again. So instead of getting beat up, he's going to join them, and it's very simple and it works. Like, you can't beat him, join him, and that's what he did.
He'd rather be the employer at the Hurt Business than the employee of the Hurt Business.
I love
the Hurt Business.
It's only going to get better now. I mean, honestly, Cedric adds like such a really cool twist to it, like a modern twist to it, because all those guys are from the Attitude Era and around that time, and Cedric is this era, is the now. Mm-hmm. So like it modernizes it just a tiny bit. I like it.
Not only that, like you have like 4 totally different skill sets. Like you have your Lashley, your big power speed guy. You got MVP as your veteran. Mainly he's just a technical guy.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's a good on the mic, good promo, good character development, like get you over type of guy.
Shelton Benjamin's always been one of those like top 5 for years hybrid wrestlers where he can brawl, he can technical wrestle, he can fly. I mean, so like Cedric Alexander has 3 of probably the best wrestlers to learn under. On top of that, to work with those guys, like the value of working with those guys is going to be insane. And I'm excited because I'm a fan of all 4 guys. So I want to see what they're going to do. I think they need at least another belt under their stable. I think they need to get another one to show that they're more legit, but we'll see. Maybe they take the tag belts or something. I don't know how this works, but I don't see Lashley losing the U.S. belt anytime soon. So I really think to make them like solidify them as a stable, they need another belt.
Yeah, I could see them with the tag team titles. I think that'd be great. Right now, we got a whole thing with the tag belts with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura and the Street Profits, kind of like an inter-brand thing. It continued on SmackDown. Because the Street Profits, the whole little the championship lounge kind of wrecked that whole thing, which I thought was really good. I'm liking the feud. I don't know where it's going. We're supposed to get that match on Raw tomorrow. Monday night we're going to see those 2. What's that?
It's going to be or a roll up or distraction roll up finish.
Distraction roll up finish. Can you make that a T-shirt? Distraction roll up finish.
I can.
Have it be like a check, like a check distraction
checklist.
Distract roll.
Yeah.
like a little checklist. But yeah, like another thing I was saying. Say that again.
WWE's booking list.
Yeah.
How to book tonight's event.
Run-in, distraction. Dude, like talking about separating things up a little bit. Like honestly, they go, okay, 3 segments in a row. The first segment in this 3 segments in a row that I'm talking about is the Cedric Alexander turn on Ricochet and Apollo, and then the Angel Garza turn, and then a tag team that just broke up are having a match with each other, and it's just a throwaway, it doesn't mean anything exhibition match, and like they're just kind of trying to look like they're wrestlers. These are best friends who've been a tag team for so long, and they've broken up. They're supposed to hate each other now.
We're talking about Peyton and Billy Kay.
Yeah.
What a throwaway storyline, which really, even though they were never like a really featured tag team, they've been a tag team for years, and they basically threw away the whole breakup storyline. They gave it no story whatsoever.
Right. So
and I enjoyed Iconic.
And they were standing in front of each other. They were standing in front of each other, and they were going, and then Billy Kay goes, "Come on now, stop it now. You can't do here. I'm gonna do a back roll now because back rolls are a wrestling move. This was a fight, but now it's a wrestling match."
Is that how they talk in Australia?
Yeah. Well, that's how it sounds when it's on mute. That's how it sounds in my head. Come on now.
Yeah, from what I hear right now, ever since they let go of Paul Heyman, like Raw is just like spiraling. I mean, they have Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, which focal point wise, it's the best thing they have going on. And then you have the Hurt Business, which is basically the next thing. And then it's this steep drop off after that, where none of the storylines make sense. You can watch 3 roll-ups and a distraction maybe squeeze in between it right in a row. Like, Raw is just bad right now. It's really bad. And then SmackDown has been atrocious for almost a year. In the last 3 weeks is one of the best wrestling shows on television.
But they're also doing like throwaway breakups. Like
that's
the Lucha House Party. It's like, I'm the leader of the Lucha House Party. Okay, we hate you now, Kalisto. And they're like, we're not doing Lucha with you. And then they're like, okay, fine, I guess we'll do the Lucha with you. Like, it's all so dumb. Like, either do it or don't do it. Like, stop teasing.
Yeah, they're like teasing it, but they're teasing it, but they're not doing it right. The whole Bayley and Sasha Banks storyline, I think that they're doing great.
Fantastic.
It had to have been written by somebody else because it's been absolutely fantastic.
Did you see the comparison, which I never picked up on, and someone showed it? I think it's where she did when Eddie Guerrero did the turn. So she was sitting in the same colors in the chair like he was. Like, how much of it, like, that was so dope. Like, Bayley to me can't talk. I think she's terrible. I don't like her inflections, but the storyline itself and what she was saying still carried it enough to where I really enjoyed it. Like,
It reminded me of Zoolander. And you're like, Sting, he's a big hero of mine. The music that he makes, I don't listen to it, but the fact that he makes it, I really respect that.
Oh, I knew her as a wrestler. I just never liked her talking. Even when she was at her height in NXT, and she was like just churning out great match after great match. Every time she got on the microphone, I'd want to walk out of the room because it was just so bad. She's not a good talker.
It's still weird. Like, when she talks, it feels like a child is talking. It's still, I can't get behind it. And it's weird. Like, she kind of was reminding me of Corey Feldman from Lost Boys a little bit in that promo. Like, she got that, like that what the Frog Brother sort of attitude to her. And I was like, what is she reminding me of right now? I don't know what it is. It's like mixture of what little kid and Corey Feldman from Lost Boys. It's like, you better get yourself a garlic. Whatever he said.
I don't know.
She's very Jekyll and Hyde, because when Sasha was wrestling or they were in a tag match and she was on the outside of the ring or she was with Sasha, she was excellent at being annoying. Like, she was a great heel. And then there's this weird thing when she's finally by herself, it's almost like her confidence just disappears, and then she goes back to this weird like stumble, like she doesn't know how to speak, and like you said, it's almost childish. Like, she's almost like she's nervous being out there by herself. She's been killing it for almost a year, so I don't understand why that confidence goes away.
I don't know. I don't see it as a lack of confidence. Like I said, like, I see the childhood thing. Like, I see the childish thing that you're talking about. But I think that it almost fits. Like, she's always had that heel or face. But I think that when she's a heel, I think that kind of fits because she's out there calling herself a role model. But like you said, she talks like a little kid. So it's kind of like that counteracty type of thing. Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I think it works. But like, this is even her horrible way that she talks on the mic, it's not ruining the story for me because I think this whole storyline.
obnoxiously chew bubblegum in every promo. Like, that would be such a heel thing. She's just, for some reason, just a big chunk, like a humongous, like baseball player thing of bubblegum. Like, it would be so ridiculous, so stupid. And like when she has a point that she really has to make, take the bubblegum out, stick it to the microphone, say what she has to say, stick it back in her mouth, and then the people go, "Ew, that was on the microphone, and now you put it back in your mouth." Like, it would be just a heat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, during a pandemic, you probably don't want to do that.
No, I'll buy a brand new microphone just for that promo.
I mean, in the end, this is just nitpicking anyway, because like we're looking at one of the best storylines in WWE, probably two of the best female wrestlers in WWE, and we're about to see this payoff of how many years now they've been teasing this? 2 years easily?
2 years, yeah.
So we're about to see the payoff for this, and I know the match is going to be good. As long as they get the time, they're going to put on a great match. And I don't know. Like I said, I always thought Sasha was actually – they always push Charlotte Flair. I always thought Sasha and Bayley were the two better ones out of the Four Horsemen. So these two, I think they're going to put on a great match.
Yeah. And if it's anything like they did in NXT with the whole what was that? Takeover Brooklyn 2 or something like that, whenever that was.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a 2 falls? I forget what it was. Yeah. One of the greatest matches, in definitely in NXT. But yeah, man, if we get that kind of match, this is going to be fantastic. Yeah. So I can't wait for that. We brought up a little while ago the whole Murphy thing, and if he's still with Seth Rollins or not. The end of Raw, Cory, I know you're not there yet, but you're just watching Raw.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. Sorry, Cory. Yeah, I'll take you off. I'll just do me.
No.
Hey. Yeah, the end of Raw with them they all beat down Murphy with kendo sticks, all four of them.
I saw the gifs on Twitter already.
It looked a little too heelish to me. Like everyone else is like, "Oh man, this was great. He's finally getting revenge and blah blah blah, and this is fantastic, and this is hardcore, and this, that, and the other thing." To me, like it was 4-on-1, and then the bell rang. Murphy quit, and then it was still 4-on-1, and they were still kicking his ass, and they were still kicking his ass when they went off the air. I'm like, isn't that a little excessive for faces?
Batman's got the rule to not kill people.
Right.
That's why you continue to like him. So like when like baby faces gang up on one guy and are beating him with weapons, they're not baby faces as much. Like
not only that, they're not beating up Seth Rollins. They're beating up his flunky. So there's like no real vengeance there. It's just there's no real payoff to me there. Like, so it was cute for like 2 seconds, and then I'm like, all right, this is going on a little too long. And then, and where was Seth? Is he sick now, or
I don't know.
Was on the show at all?
I don't know.
I mean, it would have at least led to it if he was on the ramp watching them beat up Murphy in the ring with the sticks, and he stood on the ramp and at least looked horrified or something. Would have really added to the actual story.
Oh, I'm coming to help. Mm-hmm. I'll be right there.
Yeah, like
I'm coming to help.
That is the scumbag he is. Just standing up on the ramp, like I would help, but there's 4 of them.
As soon as they're not expecting me, here I come. Here I come.
It was just that's all. It's another nitpick, but it was just one of those things that was just. It would have been really cool if it was there. Like it would have really made it a little bit better payoff.
Yeah.
Besides that, I'm trying to think. AEW was solid. There wasn't anything that really stood out on AEW.
No, they finally broke 1 million with their the ratings. They finally got 1 million subscribers for the first time in almost a year.
Yeah. Congratulations, AEW, on that, because I really enjoy the product. It's just I work those days and I don't have cable right now, so it's tough for me to watch the show. But when I've been doing the clips thing, and they're better at clips than WWE. They give you 5 minutes on each of the matches, so you can actually see most of the match before. So I've been watching the clips so I can keep up, and I'm really enjoying the product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I am as well. I think the NXT move to Tuesday, I think is going to be better for all of them.
I think it will be.
It sounds more like a win. Like it's more about wrestling being an option and not like two wrestling options and you got to choose one or the other. Like, I think it'll just be like, well, everyone's setting their DVRs anyway, so might as well just have a different day. And maybe it'll make NXT less like SmackDown and Raw because like it just became another USA show.
The last 2 weeks, NXT is slowly turning back into what made me love NXT in the first place. It's more of it's more like AEW where it's more sporting. It still has the storylines and all, but it's more of like an old school wrestling feel. You know, like it's more about the actual people in the ring than the stories. Like I'm watching Mercedes Martinez versus Rhea Ripley right now. This match is awesome. The girls are killing it.
Yeah. The match was great with Mercedes Martinez and Rhea Ripley, and the Balor and Adam Cole match was really great. And they had a lot of great matches in between. So it's very much like the NXT of old, I felt. At least from what I saw. Like again, I only saw the clips, but I saw at least those two really, really good matches. Now we have Finn Balor as champion from when was the last time he held the belt? It was like 4 years ago, something like that. So I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for the whole thing.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I wasn't happy with the bait and switch from last week.
Yeah, that was. They might have made up for it a little bit. I mean, they at least I guess maybe tried to make up for it some. Yeah, it's something to shake your hand at. Yeah.
This show is they definitely bookended the NXT show this week by two great matches. Like I said, the girls are just awesome. Like I'm glad to see Rhea Ripley's finally starting to get back up to where she should have been in the first place, and after Mania, and it was Balor and Adam Cole. And Balor looked like he went through a war when he won that. It looked like Adam Cole accidentally scratched him while they were doing a move. So he was bleeding out his back. His ribs were all jacked up. So it gave a great look to him being all beat up, wearing the belt at the end. And it did. Like NXT started to feel like it used to. And I'm glad. I wanted to go back to that because no offense to AEW or NXT was my show. That's the one I truly enjoy. Yeah. The matches.
Yeah, we know, Mark. We know.
No, the Mercedes Martinez match with Rhea Ripley. There was a whole cage match, and then it ended with Mercedes turning on what's his name? Robbie. What's his name?
Robert Stone. Mineral.
Stone.
Bobby Mineral.
Now Nick said that was one of his tag partners.
Yeah.
Oh, they were like best buds for a minute there.
Yeah.
I don't know about best buds, but they were buds. They were good buds for a minute back in the day.
Yeah. Well, isn't Mercedes Martinez part of the Retribution? Which we didn't even talk about. Hands down, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Are they like doing away with it? I haven't seen it. It's been off TV for a little bit.
It was on this week.
They did almost like they did almost like an NWO, like old Shield type thing where they had them on this like glitchy camera and they were all talking, but then they gave them all distorted voices, and then they gave like a manifesto like a 5-year-old would write. It was really bad, and it was just like they've taken all the wind out of the sails to those guys. The one is definitely I'm calling Dijak. I'm calling Dijak from Evolve. His name wasn't that long in Evolve. They called him Dijak.
It was bad. They interrupted Nia Jax's match, which is instant face heat, if you ask me. And then you just had like an awful promo. I don't know what that was. The logo looked like garbage. It just looked like it was that cheesy, like fake spray paint font. It's like, come on, man. Like, did you download that off like Google Press or something? What the hell? That just looked awful.
Yeah. Like you got a billion-dollar industry. You got a billion-dollar company. Like, come up with a better graphics team.
Cory, here you go. So I don't know what's going on. I didn't watch it yet, but Talking Smack from Friday night had Ray Park. Not Ray Park.
Junior was on it.
I'm calling I'm calling Darth.
It's like,
they're talking on Talking Smack. So maybe it's something going Abbyss. AJ Styles.
Okay.
I'm tired. I worked 14 hours.
I don't know either if that makes you, but I'd try my best.
I had money yesterday.
Well, yeah, and he, without the mask in TNA, he was Christopher Park. He was the lawyer and the brother. I'm sorry, he was. Now you got me questioning it. I don't remember. God damn it, Christopher Park is Abbyss.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And then his brother was. He played his brother. And now I can't remember it because your slippery mind made the whole show slippery.
Stay tuned to Rassle Rock for the latest in news and updates. The greatest wrestling podcast. We have all the facts.
You want to do a bit Mark's uneducated news clip? Talk about stuff I have no clue because I haven't slept in 10 days.
Oh man! So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'm hearing they might call Mercedes Martinez up to the main roster after that whole thing. What's that? You think she's definitely in Retribution?
That's the thing. Is some nerd went and took the recording, and then I don't know how, but you can dial back the distortion and actually hear her voice. And they said the one was Mercedes Martinez. I thought it was supposed to be Mia Yim. Maybe it's both of them. But
could be.
I don't know, man. That thing's completely falling flat. They could have did some really cool stuff with those guys. And it's basically just Vince McMahon's idea of what Antifa is in the real world.
Shit.
And he just thinks they're a bunch of dudes who spray paint and knock tables over. So, and flick lights with
It's like
I really
Charleston
think
March.
Yeah, I think this is going to go the way of the hacker, man. We're just going to see this disappear and pretend they're going to pretend that it never happened, which is sad because this could actually be something. This could be a legitimate.
Yeah, it could have been something neat.
Yeah, but whatever. They're going to wreck it.
Is it like that with everything with any kind of promo, any kind of thing that's starting? They're like, oh, it's CM Punk. CM Punk's coming back. It's almost been everything. Every single thing has been CM Punk's coming back. And it's I don't think he is, dude. I don't think he's ever
Pretty
coming
sure
back. Pretty sure he's never coming back. Pretty sure he's never coming back. You got him on the.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say you got him on that Fox Sports show. That's all you're getting. Just accept it, own it. That's all you're getting. And what ifs?
Here's what
we had. What he said in an interview, if there was something to bring him back a long time ago, but he said time machine. And at this point, it's going to be so much time has passed, people aren't going to care. A good amount of people aren't going to know who he is, and it's really whatever.
Nobody's going to.
If he ever came back now, there's no impact to him coming back. Even though I'm a big fan of Punk, they really squandered any kind of excitement if he wanted to do anything. Only way I would see any kind of excitement, he would have to show up somewhere else than WWE, and because then he could probably be himself wherever he goes. Because no matter what, he can act like when he goes to WWE that he's going to be this big rebel, and then he's still under the corporate machine anyway, and they're going to make him do and say what they want him to, and he's going to pretend that he's not. So,
is this the part of the script where I'm supposed to say pipe bomb? Is this the
That's going to happen, and he's going to try pretending to his fan base that he's a rebel, and it's come on, dude. We already know. It's just stop.
Yeah.
But
it's going to have to come to a point where WWE just books guys for like a short-term thing, like bring guys that like get rid of wrestling contracts altogether. Like only contract the guys that you know that you want for a main like a long ass time. Bring everybody else in for like a couple months. Have them sign like a little couple month deal. If you're bringing in CM Punk, have them. It's like this is the storyline. This isn't going to change. This is the way it's laid out for you. Do you agree? Yes, great. Sign here. And that way, you know, I mean, it would just be a way to make everybody happy. It would make the company happy, make the wrestler happy, make the fans happy. It's just a better way to do things, and that's what it needs to come down to. But I don't know if WWE is going to pull that trigger or not.
Well, first of all, I need WWE to stop making walrus dolls and trying to think that's actually funny. And then
wobbly walrus.
We'll see where it goes.
That's so good.
Because I love the Funhouse, but like, whoa, that was bad. That was some bad.
I was excited to see Pasquale, man. They Pasquale'd that all the way. I wanted to see Pasquale the parrot, the inspirational parrot.
Yeah,
but I do like Alexa Bliss's like descent into like madness type thing they're doing. Like that was really cool how she gave Nikki Cross to Sister Abigail and then wandered off like completely spaced out of her mind. I thought it was really well done. I think she's doing a better job of teasing this new Y family than Bray is. I kind of like that where Bray's like kind of aloof to it and doesn't even mention anything. And then when it happens, I think it's gonna be really cool, man. And the rumor now is like he's gonna be the good guy against a heel Roman Reigns at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
So how's the Fiend a good guy? Like a horror character?
I don't know.
Well, he was a good guy against Braun Strowman.
Kinda, yeah. But where I think people said the same thing about the Undertaker back in like '92 or whatever it was. True. When he turned on Jake Roberts. It's like, oh, how are you going to make that guy a babyface? And then he ended up being one of the most legendary wrestlers of all time. So you never know. It might be awesome. I mean, it might be very, very stupid. This is still WWE's writing. You know how they're going to write things. So we'll see. We'll see how
right now I have faith because SmackDown has been killing it. So I have faith to see where the storyline's going. Like I said, that was the dumbest thing, but I got to see the Vince McMahon doll again, which always rules. That's good shit. It's such a great character.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. I love that thing. But
a little concern that I have, and I hope I didn't mean to interrupt you or anything. What were you saying, Rick?
Okay. I don't know. Go ahead.
Do you remember when Daniel Bryan was on SmackDown and he was saying like, Drew Gulak's my coach and like he can beat me. He's good. Look how good he is. And like for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I just been seeing Drew Gulak in the background of parties. Like,
so was Matt Riddle. How sad is that?
What happened to your? What happened to your? He's as good as Daniel Bryan. Like. He's got it all figured out. Where's his matches? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like Matt Riddle's done.
Yeah, already. It's sad, but it's those things where already. Yeah, Riddle and Gulak, they're not really giving them the time or that match that he had with Daniel Bryan, Gulak I'm talking about, was absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. It was hard-hitting and it was absolutely insane. And if you you can't do that all the time because it was how hard-hitting and hardcore it was. But it was, if you keep giving them stuff like that, like once a month, once every other month, whatever big show you want them to pull that stuff out as, that guy could be at least like mid-card champion, like an Intercontinental or a United States champion, and he's got the personality for it too. So like it's not like he's bad on the mic. He ran all that stuff when he was a heel doing the 205 what was it? The
PowerPoint presentations.
The no-fly zone.
Yeah, the no-fly zone. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That was all great. So if you give him the ball and let him run with it, even if you're scripted his promos and limiting what he can do, he can still be like one of the top level guys. He can be like where you got Jeff Hardy now, where you got Sami Zayn now, where you got put him on Raw. You could put him where the Hurt Business is now, and he would be just as over. So I don't know. I don't know why they're holding him back. Riddle too. Riddle's the same way. They got a lot of guys like that.
I'm hoping that this leads to something cool, like for Big E, for the fact that he got pulled out of like whatever like that title picture was. I thought that would have been cool for him. Why did they have Sheamus fusion him through the top of that car? What was the point of that?
I think it was to put him out for a couple weeks, just so they can, because they're building up the line with Reigns and Uso, Jey Uso. So they're doing that. So most likely we're not going to see Big E back until after Clash of Champions, and then after that's done, then maybe we'll start building that storyline back up where we're going to build Big E back up. Obviously, he's going to have the big match with Sheamus, probably at Hell in a Cell or whatever, and then by Survivor Series, he's going to be building himself back up even more. Maybe eventually, hopefully, to the main event title picture. So
I totally don't get Sheamus right now. Like this.
I don't think anyone does.
This incarceration, like this incarnation of Sheamus.
With his suspenders and his hat.
What is his suspenders and his dress pants and his like boxing wraps? What is he doing? Like what is? I mean, like wears a hat. Like come on, man. What are you doing? What? Just...
People weren't chanting "You look stupid enough," so I figured he'd change it up.
Yeah, it's like well, the days of chanting are over at this point. Yeah. At least for the time being.
No, they still have filtered chants. What are you talking about?
I haven't heard a chant yet.
They still filter them in every now and again. They still chant 1, 2, 3 with the referee.
Oh, I haven't caught that.
They're filtering them in. Whatever. It was a joke. Obviously there's no fan chanting the
WWE. Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize. All right, I'm the dick.
Sorry. Making a joke. No, it's all right. I should have. Sorry, comedy Yoda. Please teach me how to be funny on podcast.
No, I was admitting, going like, "Oh, you're right. I'm wrong." And then it wasn't me going, "I'm the dick," like I was doing it in a sarcastic way. I was saying, "Yes, I'm wrong. You're right. Your joke was probably funnier than I was willing to give it credit for."
It wasn't. Don't worry about it.
Well, that's why I added probably.
All right, man. It's about that time of the week, about that time of the show where we shine a spotlight on somebody that shine brighter than everybody else that week. We do this with a segment called Who Wins Wrestling.
Who wins wrestling? Blah, 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 blah.
Who wants to go? Anybody got one?
I got two. I'm
two.
Torn. I'll say one of them, and if you're thinking the other one, then you can go ahead and say that. I'm going to say Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander really stepping out of the vanilla, and I dig it. I think it's going to be a big move for him to align himself with main eventers. Like it's a good move, and that's my take. And I'm going to see if either of you guys are going to say the other one I had in mind.
I don't know, Mark. What do you got? Me? Me? I don't know. Yeah, I was actually going to go Carmella. Believe it or not, I'm going to go Carmella. She's been getting the, as far as I know, that's who this is on SmackDown. They've been teasing somebody coming in. The internet keeps on saying it's Carmella, if that's who it is. She's getting these big backstage segments she's putting on fur coats and everything else. She's gearing up to make her return, and hopefully they, obviously they're going to keep on the same gimmick of Mella is money and actually have her be a featured player. And I like Carmella, so I'm glad to see her back, and I hope they do right by her.
Okay. You Mark, didn't say my other one.
So. I didn't say your other one. Sorry, Cory.
You didn't say my other one. All right, go ahead.
All right, Mark, what do you got?
I'm going with Finn Balor. I think we were talking about how NXT looks like it's going back in the old direction. And I think if you're going to head back in that direction, the best guy to have the belt at this time is Finn Balor. Build NXT back around him. So, that's who I'm going with. Great match. Adam Cole's the man. That's all I got this week.
Nice, man. Yeah, Balor in NXT as NXT champion, I think is going to be really good. I can't wait to see what they did with that. Cory, was that your second one?
No, my other one was I was tossed up between Cedric or Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns got a pin victory. He showed us what a heavyweight heel champion is. He didn't have to cock his fists or punch the ground. He just did his move, got the win, and left. So I was going to say Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Yeah, man. I'm curious to see where the feud goes with Uso. Clearly, Reigns is the heel now. They're doing that whole family gimmick. They had that like little mutual respect thing. I'm proud of you type of thing in the ring in the beginning of SmackDown, which I thought was great. And he pretty much left Jey Uso out to dry when he didn't show up when his music hit, and he was getting the crap kicked out of him for 5-10 minutes or whatever it was. So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to the rest of this feud, man. I want to see what they do next week. I want to tune in next week, and that's the whole point of wrestling. That's the whole point of booking a show. If you can get me to want to see a show,
I want to tune in.
No, like NXT's done a great job of making you. I mean, I'm so tired. WWE in general, with the exception of SmackDown, has made you want to come back. But SmackDown is killing it. Like Raw is terrible. I can't talk. I'm so tired.
All right,
SmackDown's great. I'm going to bed. I got an hour before I back into work. Shut up.
All right. Oh, edit. Don't worry about it. We're still safe. We're not demonetized yet. This isn't live.
Cory's crazy on here like he always is.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that'll be.
It wasn't me that time.
It wasn't you that time, no. It was somebody else.
Dude, this Keith Lee Randy Orton match is pretty good too, man. I really like that match from Raw. The establishing Keith Lee, I'm really digging it. I hope that they continue making him somebody who can contend with the big dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't had him lose. Like, he's been in main event-ish spots since he's been in, so they haven't had him lose yet. So this is awesome. It's screw job finishes here and there, disqualifications, whatever. But he hasn't been pinned. He hasn't tapped out. So right now they're doing good by him. Hopefully they keep building him up. We'll see him in a title picture or something bigger in a few weeks.
Can I give another honorable mention? A little shout out for whoever thinks that it's awesome to always have somebody show up in an ambulance. Because Drew McIntyre did that on Raw. They have to do it. Like, they just have to drive out to where the ambulance comes and, oh my God, it's the champion stepping out. Some wacky ambulance stealing wrestlers out there, folks. Look out for it. If you're ever driving an ambulance and you see a pro wrestler nearby, you better lock them doors because they're stealing them. They're stealing them.
Well, we saw him leave in an ambulance, so he has to come back in an ambulence. Mm-hmm. Even though it was too.
Yeah, that ambulance was on the road for 2 weeks.
He's just been driving around aimlessly. He's like, wait, where is I forget which town Raw's in.
Well,
I have to drive for 2 weeks.
I went to the performance center, and then I drove down to Tampa Bay where WrestleMania was supposed to be. There was a different wrestling show going on there. All right, well, like, let me.
Yeah. All right, man, we're about to wrap this show up. Mark, you got anything to plug? Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Just want to go home.
No, he just wants to go to sleep. Cory, what do you got, man? What do you got to plug this week?
Check out new episodes of my podcast, Evolving with Cory Castle, every Monday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can check me out live wrestling on stream on Twitch. On September 19th, I take on Killian McMurphy for Super Fight Wrestling. Check that out. Let us know if you are digging the content that we have. Interact with us. We're always here. We want to know you exist. Leave us a comment. Subscribe and rate, and just tell all your friends. And be like Rick. If nothing else, be like Rick and want to tune in next week to see where we're gonna go. I think that's it, Rick.
Yeah, man. So Super Fight, you were talking about it. It's the Big Slam Memorial fundraiser that is happening September 19th. Cory is going to be there taking on Killian McMurphy. I'm going to be there on commentary. It's all going to be live on Twitch, and you guys should definitely check that out. What's that? I should be. I'll bring a bottle of rum with me, and I'll do another. It'll be Wicked Hanuman all over again. Also, check out my other podcast that I do with Mark's sister. It's called It's Something to Do. It's almost October, and we're going to be doing some spooky, scary stuff. We're going to be telling some ghost stories, having people on, sharing their experiences. Real ghost stories for the entire month of October, so that's going to be fun. Check that out. We might have Mark on because he's got a ton of them. So we'll see. Check out my YouTube channel, tinyurl.com/YouTube Rick Connor. You can watch this episode that you're listening to on the podcast form right now. You can actually see it. You can see our faces. You can see all the
and if you are watching the video right now, hello.
Hello. And check out if you want some merchandise for Rassle Rock, check out our merchandise store, teespring.com/stores/Rassle-Rock. Everything on there, 100% of all the proceeds are donated to charity. So it's awesome, and you should definitely do it. That'll be it for this episode of Rassle Rock. I'm Rick Connor.
Mark Halbacher.
Cory Castle.
Let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Rassle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.